Eldon has always said, more or less comically, that he wouldn't put food in the wilderness that he wouldn't eat himself.
Donuts and grease, the bears love it. Makes you wish you had a cup of coffee. They're black as coal. They're like ghosts. They show up, you don't even hear them. They get pads on their feet. So it's not like deer on a deer and you can hear them come, you know. But with bear hunting, they can sneak up behind you and never know they're there. We'll go bait this one and take a look. A lot of these bait sites have 2, 3, sometimes 7 bears working a bait site. One woman last night from New Hampshire actually seen 7 bears at her bait site.
To the guides, a bear's trail, their highway through the dense underbrush, identifies frequently traveled routes.
If you look around, you can see beaten trails where the bears are coming in and out. There's 3 definite trails right through here. But you have some people that are afraid of the dark, they're afraid of the woods, they're afraid of the bear.
And yet a bear is still a rare sight, especially for a heart-pounding hunter.
You get all different kinds, but it's quite exciting to see somebody. They're so excited that they can't even talk to you. I had a gentleman this year from West Virginia. I think he was 71 years old. And he said, I was so excited, I could hardly breathe. My heart was beating so fast. And it was nice to see the excitement in his face at 71 years old and still enjoying the hunt that way.
With millions of acres as a backyard, locating the convergence of black bear highways in the wilderness is a daunting task. But it's finally our turn to select an active bait. Some sites are so remote that it's more convenient to back down to reach them.
So every day we check bait sites to make sure they're still active so we can put hunters on the stand. This is a new area that I tried this year and has been pretty active. And we might even hunt this one. Black bears have killed more human than any other bear. Now look at the barrel, see what's in. Look at this trail right here. Come see this trail. Look at this. Good sized pad in there too. Look at that.
It is critical that only a single path leads into the forest and to the tree stand. Hunters must always stay on the path.
Okay, so look at this. Look at this. They're coming right down through here. Yep. See why it's so important not to walk off the side? The less scent we leave, the better.
Once the bait sites are baited and found to have bears working them, the process of placing tree stands becomes the next challenge.
So we only need 1 ladder and we need all 3 stands.
These seemingly fragile steps strapped to trees are the quintessential launch points to the annual hunt for black bear. But it's the guide who secures them to the right tree.
What I'll do, Jeremy, is I'll hang this one, you set that down. I'll try not to make too much noise. And once I holler, Jeremy, you can walk in right here and hand me the smaller of the 2 stands once I holler, okay? We plan on hunting this tonight. We're gonna come back probably right around 3 or 3:30 this afternoon and get set up to hunt. I probably will not bait it tonight because, like I said, I'm trying to antagonize them to come in a little early, so hopefully we'll keep them hungry. The wind looks like it's in our favor. It's blowing right at my back right now, so that's the prevailing winds, which comes out of northwesterly, and I try to set all my stands up for prevailing winds, which is northwesterly. And it's supposed to be high winds this afternoon, but it's supposed to die down before dark, so that'll be good if that happens. We want a little bit of noise to cover our noise. We don't want it too quiet because he'll be able to hear us breathe. You can hear me breathe right now sitting up this tree stand.
Bear hunters agree that bait location and tree stand placement are the key to harvesting the biggest bear.
Well, these steps are slippery today. Gotta be careful.
This is not an easy task when you're 16 or 17 feet up. One wrong move could cause serious injury. There is no help out here, no cell phone reception, and even with a CB in the truck, if Longbow slips or falls, crawling half a mile through the forest to the truck is nearly impossible. Remember, there are over 30,000 black bear in the same forest.
This is a stand we videotaped a big bear coming in. He came in at midnight one night and about 1:30 another night. So we're trying to cut back on the feed. Hopefully he'll come in early. He didn't. It looks like something hit it last night, but I don't expect it was last night. It was probably the night before last night. We had a big storm come in. I don't think nothing was moving much last night. We didn't hunt, and neither did any of the hunters. So hopefully, if he didn't feed last night, he'll be in early tonight. If they see you or hear you, they're gone. If they smell you, they're definitely gone. Their biggest defense is their nose. They cannot see very well, but they can catch movement. Their eyesight is very poor, but their nose makes up for it. They can pick up like 10 to 11 different smells at one time, compared to you and I can just only smell one or two. And no matter what you do to try to eliminate your scent, you cannot eliminate it 100%. So the best thing to do is wash with just plain water and pat yourself down with baking soda, because that absorbs all odors. And I suggest to my hunters to put fir and cedar boughs into their clothing, into a plastic bag, so it all filters through there. Well, with a bow, you have to watch your scent more because you're so much closer. When these bears are coming in at 10 to 15 yards, you have to watch your clothing so they're not noisy. You have to watch your smell so you don't smell. You have to be more accurate with your bow. We make sure they have rubber boots because rubber holds no scent, so they go into the sand. The bears can't smell them. And I make sure they have safety belts, and the stands are all set up for them. And what we do is we have trails well trimmed getting to and from the bait site for two reasons. One is so the customer can get in and out easily without getting lost. And the other reason, so you don't leave too much scent going into your tree stand, so you don't touch any branches or leaves, so leaving a lot of scent on the trail going in. All right, guys, let's go set up another bear hunt.
Now it's our turn. The lonely walk to the tree stand would be hair-raising for the uninitiated. Eldon mentioned antagonizing bear to come in earlier. Will bears be waiting for us at this bait site?
Most of your time you go in the tree stand between 2:30 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you hunt till legal shooting time, which last night was 7:30. So you're about 3 to 4 hours stay in a tree stand. The wind is in our favor anyway. It's blowing right in my face. I'm going to draw back a couple times. Make sure that I can draw back without hitting the winds.
The wind direction is favorable, but Eldon isn't satisfied with the barrel placement.
I didn't put the drum back far enough. I'm going to have a hard time. I'm going to have to get down and go with the drum. I don't like where it's at. I didn't like where it was. I'd have to have a hard shot. There's too many branches in the way, so I'll have to move back a few feet.
Back up in the tree, Eldon straps on his harness and prepares to hunt.
Put on the safety belt. It's best to be safe than sorry.
Finally, perched on swaying trees high above a bait area awaiting a bigger moment, everybody sat motionless, eyes wide open, focused, unmoving. We sit motionless for 4 or 5 hours because no one knows when a bear will visit this site. The night grows colder. No bear today. On day 2, we arrive at the tree stand without fanfare and begin the wait. The thought most of us have is, are we being watched even now?
Bear eat all the time. They just don't eat a lot. When we bait them, we find out, you know, they come in and go out. Come in and go out. They may come back 20 minutes later, come in and go out. So they don't eat a lot at one sitting. They just eat constant.
But perhaps the bear won't go near the food until he checks out the dark objects in the trees. Us.
We've had many circumstances where a sow has come in with cubs and spotted the hunter in the tree and has actually pushed on the tree and growled at the hunter to try to get him to move to see if there was danger there or not. She couldn't see him because her eyesight is very poor, but she was curious to see if there was something there, and if it was he going to move?
And just because a bear sees or smells us doesn't mean he won't return.
With bear hunting, we get busted all the time. I push bear off the baits constantly. And they come back because they know we're feeding them. They get routine to that, you know.
Is something moving in the background? It's hard to see through the dense forest. Could this be a bear? See the pine mark. The rodents, squirrels, and birds magically disappeared, and everything became eerily quiet.
Just be very careful when you move, that's all. He's not facing you. He might look up at us when he comes in, you know.
We all felt that a black bear was very close.
I was pretty sure he was coming in because the pine mark looked that way and then ran the opposite way, like real fast.
Like I said, no matter what you do, you'll never eliminate your scent 100%. So you got to watch the wind. You got to stay downwind of your bait.
Tonight, the wind wasn't in our favor. We sit quietly and very still. We slowly move when absolutely necessary. Multiple bears directly underneath any person is enough to assure one remains quiet and sensible. At this site just last week, one of Eldon's hunters counted 14 bears.
Like I said, they have 14 different bears at one bait site. And I thought maybe the customer's seen 5 or 6 bears 14 times, but I overlooked the video, and it was a sow and 3 cubs, then a sow and 3 cubs with a white V. So I knew it was totally a different sow with cubs. And then 2 smaller bears come in, then 2 larger bears come in, so there was no doubt that he had seen 14 different bears.
This is what a black bear hunt is all about. Waiting.
I get a kick out of some of these people that they think, well, bear hunting is easy. They see a 30-second video or 2-minute video of shooting a bear from a tree stand, and they said, that's not very challenging. They don't see all the hours put in labor baiting bears. They don't see the hours putting in the tree stand fighting flies, that you don't see anything. I mean, there's a lot more hours of that you don't see anything than you do. When it happens so quickly and only lasts a minute to 5 minutes. But there's hundreds of hours into the labor without seeing a thing.
As the sun sets below the forest canopy, the wind picked up and it became very cold.